Can you talk about the game of football today and just you getting crushed?
I knew you were going to go down that path.
If Tom Brady can get rules changed, why couldn't you? Could you play it in the game today with all the rules?
Hey, man, somebody get flag football out there. I can still do it. I can zing it. Just don't let nobody hit me, please. No, but it is. It's a different game now, and it'll be a different game in 5 years. It'll be a really different game in 10 years. And you know what? And it is protecting people, and it does make people allow their kids to go out there and play. And, you know, you can like it, you can not like it, whatever it might be. Those guys now are so big and so fast and so strong that there had to start being some parameters set in place, you know, or something bad was going to happen. And, you know, at this point in time, yeah, is it easy to say, you know, the quarterbacks are getting treated one way? Do I sit there and go, boy, I wish somebody had thrown a flag for that for me? My back wouldn't hurt quite as bad. My knees wouldn't either. But you know what? Those guys are what makes the game fun to watch, too. You know, you watch the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and that guy's electric. You got to protect that. And whether defenses like it or not, it's the rules of the game, and it's how the game has evolved, and it'll continue to.
Yeah. Can you talk about your quarterback battle with Damon Huard? Just kind of your relationship together as you're trying to win the starting job. He's trying to win it out there. You guys are battling each day in practice.
You know, you are battling, you are competing, but you know what's interesting is media makes a whole lot different game of it than what we do. Because yes, you're competing, but honestly, you compete every day, especially at that level. I remember somebody telling me once I got done, welcome to the real world and the real world life problems. I went, has anybody ever showed up every Tuesday and tried to get your job? Because every single day that I played, and every single week that I played, and every single year that I played, there was always someone on a Tuesday, on our off day, up there working out, throwing, trying out for scouts, trying out for coaches. And you know what? If they're cheaper, healthier, younger, I'm out of a job if I'm not up there doing my job. So it's no different. You're competing nonstop, and you're competing to be the best version of yourself. And Damon and I had a great relationship, and man, he was a great mentor to me in so many ways beyond football.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys were on in at the Hard Knocks, I think, in 2007. Did you guys ever get together, watch that, see what the coaches, they go in the meeting room, see what they were saying about you, Dick Curl and Herm Edwards, and see who had the upper hand that day in the meetings by the coaches? It's
Hard Knocks was fun to watch, you know, later on.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in it, you don't care. Yeah. You're competing, you're playing, you're about to start truly a grind of a season. You know, I think that's the hardest thing for college guys to really get into. One, this is now your profession, and you're expected to show up at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're expected to leave at 8 o'clock at night, and if you don't want to do that, that's fine. That's voluntary, but so is your employment. So it's like that's the immediate grind, but then you got 20 weeks solid of games that is, you know, twice as long as college football season. So you're more focused on preparing your mind, preparing your body for what's about to come up, and you don't really get into all that. It's fun now, you know, because they replay it seems like training camp, and now that I'm getting older, you know, some of the kids at the ranch are like, hey man, I watched you this. So it's just glad we kind of handled ourselves in a halfway decent way while on the show.
But Todd Haley, you played for him. Yeah. And that was a very different personality than Herm Edwards, former player, kind of a player's coach, to a guy who, I believe his dad, Todd's dad, was a general manager. He hadn't played. He played golf in college and was on your ass. I'll just go ahead and say that every single day. What was that like going from Herm to Todd?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously polar opposites. But one, I love Herm Edwards, and still have a relationship with Herm to this day. Herm's actually come up here and gone to one of our golf tournaments before and come and visited the ranch. And, you know, I'll never forget the first meeting I was in with Herm. You know, he said, guys, I don't care about how many Pro Bowls you've been to. I don't care about how many All-Pros. I don't care how much money you make. He said, none of that matters to me. He said, I'm worried about you Monday to Saturday. He said, because if I can get you to be a good man, a good husband, a good father, he said, I know I'll get a good teammate and I'll get a good player because I know the talent that you have. He said, but I want to focus on you as a man. He said the measure of a man's success is not how much wealth he acquires, but how he affects those around him in a positive way. He said, I want you to be that man. And it just made a profound impact on my life that this guy's sitting here and he's basically running this $1 billion business, but he's more focused on me. And he created a relationship. He wasn't just focused on the rules. There was other people that were focused on the rules. He was focused on the relationship, and it's amazing. The guy that I had the relationship with, I still have a relationship with to this day. The guy that focused on the rules, never really talked to him again. So it proved a great, valuable life that truly relationship does change everything, and he's still focused on that today. He'll call and be like, hey man, you doing all right? How's Kelly? How's the boys? How's the ranch? Everything doing good? You doing everything that you're supposed to be doing? He still to this day invests, and he couldn't be in a better place right now investing in young men and what he's doing right now. But you know, Todd gets a bad rap a lot of times about always constantly being on you and all that. But I told Todd this. I just said, man, I said, when you siphon through all that, and I think he's probably a different person now than he was, you know, even then. But when you siphon through all of that, there was always a great message behind it. He was always coaching. He was always pushing. He was always trying to get the best out of you. It's just some people couldn't take that. They couldn't accept that because they were so focused on the yelling and the screaming that they didn't hear the message. And so I appreciate Todd, and I appreciate a lot of the messaging that he brought through. It came in a very animated form at times.
Do you know how Matt took that? He was on Matt a lot, coming back to the sideline, riding him all the way back to the bench. He'd turn his back to the play. Matt would try to walk away. He'd be riding him all the way down. Did Matt ever talk to you about what his thoughts on that, if they differed from yours?
You'll have to ask Matt about that. Good try, though.
Yeah, I got to try.
Good try.
And then we mentioned Eric Berry. You talked a little bit about your guys' relationship. What was the feeling you had when he got drafted number 5 to the Kansas City Chiefs? And then was there a conversation, or what were your feelings when you heard he was going to don your number 29?
Man, when Eric got drafted, I talked to Eric that night when he walked off stage. He told me he was going to wear 29 in honor of me. And I said to him, like, man, you don't have to do that. And he was like, no, you don't know what you did for me. And I said, man, you know, you're a great player, man. You could pick your own number. It's like your dad was a great player. Pick your dad's number. I was like, no, man, you don't have to pick my number. And he was like, no, Ink, you don't know what you did for me. And so for me, like, that was a special moment, because even now, when we watch Eric play, my son gets to see it and see that 29 and know the story behind it. My family gets to see it. They know the story behind it. They know Eric. Right? Like, we got a game ball. My son probably took it down. It's special. You know, like on it, he wrote honor and legacy. That's the thing that I always said to him. In his speech, that's what he mentioned. You know, in that speech, that when he was on stage, he said, my big brother Inky Johnson taught me honor and legacy. Right? And what that was I told him, you honor the people that paved the way for you, and you leave a legacy for the people that's coming behind you.
Where were you when you heard the news? You saw Eric go down, then you heard the news that he had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and talk about his battle with that and just his courage through that. And I believe after a chemo treatment, he went out to a field and started practicing. Talk about Eric as a person, a leader, and his character going through that.
I was watching a game when he went down, and I didn't think it was obviously cancer. I just thought he plays the game, you know, reckless, abandon, and he texted me not long after that, and he texted me, he said, big bro, you got a minute? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And he called right after that, and that's when he told me that, you know, they found a mass in his chest, the size of a softball, and he had to come down to Emory to run more tests, and then they diagnosed him with cancer. And we went to breakfast. I took him to breakfast, to Homegrown, over off of Memorial Drive, over on my side of town in Atlanta. It's a breakfast spot. We went, we ate, and we just talked about life, not even a situation. We just talked about life, you know, and living life a certain type of way. And I was encouraging him, let him know that man, you're prepared for this. Like, because we always spoke about being prepared for the victory before the battle happens, right? And I was sharing with him, this is the moment. This is what I speak to you about, preparing for the victory before the battle even happens. And so you're prepared for it. Now all you have to do is embrace the process. And we would go to church together. And of course, his parents were great, man, great support staff he has already in place. And yeah, man, he left chemo one day and he went to run 400s. And when he first was talking about it, I'm like, you doing what? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm staying on my routine. I'm still doing my 400s. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, after chemo? And he was like, yeah, I'm still doing them, Ink. And when it happened, I'm like, man, this guy's an animal, right? Just to do that. And so when he came back, I was at the game, his first game back, when he ended up winning Comeback Player of the Year that season. I was at his first game back in Arrowhead. I was on the sideline, me, his father, his uncle, and a couple of the other friends.
The Broncos game.
Yeah, and when he came out,
Charles
man.
fumbled in the last game and lost.
That game. And when he came out the tunnel, it was just like, wow. Like the process, he survived it. And he came back and he balled, man. But I think he balled that way because he was strong enough and had the fortitude to go throughout the process but still keep his routine intact.